O my Lord, bless Muhammad, as per the number of human beings' breaths and words, and pray for Muhammad, as per the number of each creation since the day you created the world until the day of judgment, 1,000 times every day. After all the hardships, the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, passed through it. There was a reward waiting for the Prophet, a reward he didn't expect. That is the journey of Isra and Al-Miraj. It was a blessed journey awarded to the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, as a relief to him for what he had faced from the people of Mecca and the people of Taif. And because of the death of his uncle Abu Talib and his wife Khadijah, Gabriel came to the Prophet in the house of Hani, Abi Talib's daughter, in the 27th of Rajab of the 8th year of his mission. Abdullah bin Masud says, God's messenger, may God bless him and grant him peace, came with Al-Borak. Al-Borak means that an animal that was carrying the prophets before him, may God bless them. She puts her hoof at the end of her tip. The messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, said, when I approached to ride it, it has strained. Then Gabriel put his hand on its neck. Then he said, are not you ashamed, O Barak, from what you have done? By God, you should know that Muhammad is the most generous servant. He said he was so ashamed until it was sweating. Then he knelt down until he got on his knees so that I could ride on it. Then his friend took him out, then flew together to see the signs between heaven and earth. Until they reached Jerusalem, he tied Al-Barak in the ring of the mosque's door. Then the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, entered. He found Al-Khalil Abraham and Moses and Jesus in a group of prophets had gathered to meet him. The Prophet was shy of our master Abraham, so he asked him to lead the prayer. But when he refused, Gabriel said, go ahead, Muhammad. Get forward and lead the prayer with them. As Muhammad prayed forefront them, he was named Imam of the prophets and messengers. As for Al-Miraj,
he said, may God bless him and grant him peace. When I reached the first sky, I saw a man sitting and watching the souls of Adam's children were being presented to him. He felt pleased with the goodness of some of them and said, "This is a good soul coming out of a good body." And he said to some of those presented to him, while frowning his face, "Uff." And he said, "Bad soul emerged from a bad body." He said, I asked, "Oh, Gabriel, who is he?" He said, "This is your father Adam. His children's souls are presented to him. When the soul of a believer passes by him, he is delighted with it and says, 'A good soul came out of a good body.' And if the soul of an unbeliever passes by him, he disliked it and felt hatred and stung, and said, 'A bad soul emerged from a bad body.'" Then I saw men with hands like camels' hooves. In their hands are pieces of fire like spears that they threw into their mouths and came out from their backs. I asked Gabriel, "Who are they?" He said, "They are those who unjustly ate the orphans' money." Then I saw men with stomachs that I have never seen before. They looked like Pharaoh's family, and they seemed wandering like thirsty camels. Any wanderer from thirst, when they are exposed to the fire, they will be trampled upon. They can't move from their place. I said, "Who are they, O Gabriel?" He replied, "They are those who practice the usury." Then I saw men taking in their hands fresh cooked meat and other rotten meat. They were eating from the rotten meat, and they left the fresh, delicious meat. I said, "Who are these, Gabriel?" He said, "These men are those who left their own wives and got involved in illegitimate relationships with other women." Then he took me up to the second heaven. Then there is my aunt's children, Jesus son of Maryam and Yahya bin Zachariah, peace be upon them. Then he took me up to the third heaven. And there was a man in it. His image looks like the full moon. He said, I said, "Who is this, Gabriel?" He said, "This is your brother, Joseph bin Jacob." Then he took me up to the fourth heaven. And there was a man in it, so I asked him, "Who is this, Gabriel?" He said, "This is Idris." The messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, said, "He is the one about whom God said, 'And we raised him to a higher place.'"
Then he took me up to the fifth sky. There I found an elderly man with white head and beard. I have never seen a more handsome old man than him. I said, "Who is this, Gabriel?" "This man who was loved by his people is Aaron, son of Imran. Then he took me up to the sixth heaven, where I found a tall, strong man. I asked Gabriel, "Who is he, Gabriel?" Gabriel said, "This is your brother, Moses, son of Imran."
Then he took me up to the seventh sky. I saw there an old man sitting on a chair near the door of the universe. Every day 70,000 angels come into it and don't return until the day of judgment. I have never seen a man like your friend, and your friend is not more like him than him. He means himself. May God bless him and grant him peace. He said, I asked, "Who is he, Gabriel?" He said, "This is your father, Abraham al-Khalil." Then he raised me to another level, until I heard the squeak of pens. Then the prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, ascended at the lote tree of the utmost boundary. The prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, said, "Will you proceed, my brother Gabriel?" Then he told me, "Rather you proceed, O Muhammad, because if you proceed, you will manage to pass, and if I proceed, I will be burned." Then 50 prayers every day were imposed on the prophet, may God bless him and grant peace. The messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, said, when I was turning back, I passed by Moses, son of Imran. He was a good friend to you. He asked me, "How many prayers were imposed on you?" I replied, 50 prayers every day. He said, "The prayer is heavy, and your nation is weak. So go back to your Lord and ask him to relieve it for you and your nation." So I turned back, and I asked my Lord to relieve it for me and for my nation. He reduced 10 prayers. When I went and passed by Moses, he told me the same thing. And I turned back and I asked my Lord to alleviate it for me and my nation. Then he reduced 10 prayers when I went and passed by Moses, and he said the same thing to me. And I turned back and I asked my Lord to alleviate it for me and my nation. Then he reduced 10 prayers. Then he kept saying the same thing to me every time I went back to him. He said, "Go back and ask your Lord." Until I finished that, until the prayers were reduced to 5 prayers every day and night. Then I went back to Moses and he said the same to me. I said, "I have beseeched my Lord many times until I become embarrassed, so I will not ask him again." Then the messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, heard a caller saying, "O Muhammad, they are practically 5 prayers, but those who accomplish them with faith and belief will be granted the recompense of 50 prayers.
I swear, God, this is an explicit lie. And he ascended to the sky till he reached Al-Aqsa Mosque in one night.
Muhammad is lying to us and to his companions once again. Since he doesn't have what to say, he has chosen a new lie.
Some of those who had converted to Islam turned back, and the people went to Abu Bakr to ask him,
What do you say regarding your companion Abu Bakr? He claims that he came to Jerusalem that night, prayed and returned to Mecca.
Abu Bakr said to them, "And you deny it. And here he is talking to people in the mosque." Abu Bakr said, "By God, if he said it, he was telling the truth. By God, he tells me that the news comes to him from God from heaven to earth. In an hour, either within the day or at night. So I believe him."
Habib Allah Muhammad. May God bless him and grant him peace.
Habib Allah Muhammad. May God bless him and grant him peace.
لنا ضوء هو النجاة يحمينا من موج الحياة للي يضل وقلبه تاه سنة وكتاب معينة لنا ضوء هو النجاة يحمينا من موج الحياة سنة وكتاب معينة وصلت رسالتك يا نبي يا نبي الله 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 يا رسول الله 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 يا حبيب الله 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 يا رسول الله 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 يا حبيب الله. سيرتك رحقنا المختوم غالي وحبك مالينا بتزيد غلاوتك كل يوم في قلوبنا وعنينا سيرتك رحقنا المختوم غالي وحبك مالينا غلاوتك كل يوم في قلوبنا وعنينا ما انت اللي بيك فرح الحزين وعالصراط نادت ايدين بنقول وراك مليون امين عالجنة